What's up, guys? Max here, and this is my spoiler-free review of The Liberator. Hey, if you're new here, my name is Max, and I was in the Navy for almost 14 years. In that time, I did 2 deployments on board ships, 2 to Afghanistan, and 1 to Iraq. Now I host this YouTube channel and the podcast, The ScuttleButt Show. So if you like this sort of content, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's get started. The Liberator is a brand new Netflix miniseries following the journey of Captain Felix Sparks and his unit, the 157th Infantry Regiment, or the Thunderbirds, as they fight from Italy to Germany at the height of the war in Europe. This series is based on the book of the same name by Alex Kershaw. The Liberator series was created by Jeb Stewart and directed by Greg Giancadius. I hope I got that right. If you've heard anything about the making of this show, then you've probably heard about the animation style. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way before we even go into the plot. After years in development and not being able to secure the funds to create the story in live action, their creators teamed up with the folks at Trioscope, which is an animation studio, and they brought their vision to reality through that collaboration. Interestingly, the animation is a mix of 2D and 3D assets that blend together very seamlessly, even when the same plane, for example, is 3D in one shot and then 2D in the next. The animation of the characters is added on top of live action footage, so they film the actors acting and then animate it on top of them. And again, the look is inconsistent from shot to shot in some cases, but rather than being jarring, it flows really well. I really only noticed it because it surprised me that it wasn't bothering me. To be honest, the only thing about it that was distracting was I kept noticing something, and I think the actors may have had Sharpie on their hands and face as tracking markers and jaw outlines, but I'm not totally sure. But I kept noticing that. So I would say don't be scared of the animation going into this. It's still a great watch. The acting is excellent. Bradley James as Felix Sparks and his crew, notably Gomez and Coldfoot, are voiced by Jose Miguel Vasquez and Martin Sensmeyer, respectively. They did a great job bringing the characters to the screen. The men of the Thunderbirds were a diverse group. They had cowboys, Mexicans, and Native Americans that came together to fight this war at a time when these same men couldn't have had a beer together at the same bar in the United States. This theme is recurring throughout the series, and race is a standout subject, but also it is in no way overdone or overly in your face. And also, it's just a fact that even in World War II, we had segregated units fighting to defeat the Axis powers. I personally don't think that should be glossed over when we remember this time and the war. And this series, in my opinion, does a great job bringing it to the audience without making the story, the dialogue, and the messaging oversaturated. This is a war story first. The story follows the Thunderbirds from battle to battle, starting from the beginning of the very first episode, and it really never lets up. The series covers a span of the 500 days that Sparks and his men spent in combat. Each part of this saga is tied together by their connections to back home, which I thought was a really nice touch. As far as a war story goes, this does not disappoint there either. It is very thoughtful with the way it approaches battle scenes, and while it's extremely violent, the animation style should make it tolerable for most viewers. It makes me wonder, how many stories like this from World War II will never be told? In my mind, I'm sure it's countless. The soldiers who fought in the war, they went overseas for, in some cases, years, and then went back home to the U.S. and started rebuilding there. I believe we owe them a huge debt of gratitude to that generation for what they endured. You'll find a diverse group of men in this series to remind you of what kind of people these were. And not in all cases are you going to like them. That's just how it was. Another theme that I thought really was done well is the effect that war has on a person. There's one scene, I don't think this is a spoiler, when Sparks is at some large base reporting to his senior commander, and there's an incoming artillery round or mortar, and all the clerks dive under their desks and take cover, and Sparks just kind of sits there and ignores it completely. And I'm sure that will resonate with many veterans out there. Day 1 of deployment versus day 150. To be critical of the series, the only thing I would say is there were some scenes that I knew were supposed to be emotional and dramatic, but I honestly found myself not really connecting with them. And I'm not sure if it's the animation style or what it was. I don't think it was the acting. The acting was great, but sometimes something was missing, and other times it hit home pretty hard. So it's not totally missing, but in some scenes I knew I was supposed to feel something and didn't. My wife and I put on episode 1, and before we knew it, the credits were rolling on episode 4. I give The Liberator 2 big thumbs up, and it is a must-watch this Veterans Day weekend. All right, thanks, guys, for tuning into this episode. If you want my full spoiler review and analysis of the series, go check out the podcast at The ScuttleButt Show, or make sure you subscribe to this channel where you'll be able to find it here as well. I look forward to talking to you all really soon. I'm out for now. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button up in the corner here and check out this next video. If you want, in the description down below, there's links where you can get ScuttleButt Show merch and find out how you can support the channel. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to talking to you guys very soon.